Okay, I have it on pretty good authority. This is potentially the most forgiving driver of 2023. So can it help me, a struggling golf pro who can't really hit his driver that well at the moment, hit more fairways down the stretch on the back nine where it really counts? Because essentially that is what forgiving drivers are all about, isn't it? Yes, it's nice to get the perfect spin rate, the maximum ball speed, and of course, the most distance. But this thing claims to have max forgiveness, it even says so right there on the driver head. So will it help me hit more fairways, which in turn should help me lower my scores, which really should help save my career? Kind of, but this, guys, is of course the Tour Edge Exotics C723 driver, featuring Ridgeback technology and movable weight technology, diamond cut facing. I mean, let's face it, the technology in this driver is pretty remarkable. We're going to talk through that in this video, and we're going to take on every single hole on the back nine here at Woolley Park Golf Club to see just how many fairways we can not miss, pretty much, because if I can hit more fairways, it should help me play better golf. Right, that's an outstanding start. That felt a lot better than I anticipated, sounded fantastic, and actually launched a lot more powerfully than I thought it would. Guys, do me a huge favour, get in the comments below and let me know how important do you think hitting fairways is, or is it more important for you to gain an extra 10, 15, maybe 20 yards at a push with the correct driver? The Tour Edge Exotics have been making fantastic drivers, fantastic fairway woods, and unbelievable irons and driving irons for quite a couple of years now. I've been getting them to test and I've really enjoyed them. So much so I will put this, I think I'll put it up against maybe the standard Paradigm or the Paradigm X. I think that's pretty much the level it would be at. You get premium components in here, fantastic shafts and grips, and they are just a little bit cheaper than other brands as well, so that might be important to you. But so many people don't try these drivers and I've got no idea why. That's one fairway out of one. That is a tick in the box. There's going to be 8 fairways here, so 8 drives. There's obviously a par 3 11, which we're not going to play with it because that wouldn't make a lot of sense. But so far, so good. Tiny bit of roll on there as well, you can see, with the morning dew. And the reason why I wanted to do this on the back nine here at Woolley Park is that it's so much more difficult to hit fairways on this back nine. Not just because you're into the back nine, you might have a score going, you get a little bit more tentative, but also it is just narrower. It's narrower, it's longer, you have to hit driver, whereas on the front nine, you maybe don't have to hit driver, or at least hit it as hard. So how many are we going to hit? Because I think personally, there's 8 fairways to go at, there's a par 5 coming up. I'm going to go at like kind of tight lines as well. I'm not just going to try and hit the middle of the fairway because that's not what I would do when I'm playing golf. I think 5 out of 8 would be a good effort personally. I don't think it's realistic to think we're going to hit all of them. This is probably the hardest one to hit looking at it. It's a really tight fairway. You probably need to move it right to left realistically to stay in the fairway. Can we do that with a mega forgiving driver? You'll see I haven't got the weight settings moved, I've got it in neutral. I don't feel like that's going to help me either way. I feel like it's more kind of strike that I get a problem with, kind of. I don't want to draw it, I don't want to fade it. We have got the quad carbon tech as well, so that's lots of different parts of carbon on the head, as you can see, together with the Ridgeback technology that just help Tour Edge Exotics get that weight exactly where they want it to give you MOI plus, maximum forgiveness. And I really like the fact they've come out with this, because it's not like we're going to give you the longest driver ever, we're not going to give you the lowest spin driver ever, but we're going to give you a driver. Come on. Oh, stay there. It's a good strike, just stay there. To help you maybe hit the fairway. That one's going to be close. Let's get down there and see where that is. Oh, please be in the semi at least. And you see we're kind of entering a run of holes now, which would massively dictate the score that I had on this golf course if I came out for an 18-hole round. And it's really important to have a club for off the tee with that. Like, the mini driver does an exceptional job. The mini driver is probably the best club for that, and if I was coming out and like my life depended on a round, I think the mini driver would be in play and I would probably hit more fairways with that. I think I would be further back. I'd be 10, 15, 20 yards further back. But that is so close to being on the fairway. This is almost kind of half a point when you think about it, because realistically, yeah, it's not in the fairway, but it's like you're happy with that, aren't you? Like, it's not, I mean, my bad shot always goes there, that's out of bounds. You're really going to take that, yeah, That's unfortunately no score. Unfortunately, we're not giving half points in this challenge because I think that would be a little bit strange. But it was in play and I probably would be able to get on the green from there. So I'm taking that. I've had some horror stories and a lot of other really low handicap golfers have really struggled on that 12th hole. 13th is a little bit wider. You can see the post just up in the distance. We need to probably have a go at this. This is a 400-yard hole, stroke connect 1, so the hardest hole on this golf course. You can see now why I'm taking the back nine rather than the front. The front here is more let's make a score. The back nine is let's try and hold on to that score, and a forgiving driver should really help you do that. Right, anywhere up there, because 2 out of 3 won't be bad as a start, would it? That's one of the best drives I've hit all year. That's going to take the post out of the ground potentially. I'm really, really happy with that. And again, one thing that I'm really enjoying about this driver is the sound and feel of it. I think a lot of people would just oversee this in the shop, they'd walk straight past it. Maybe it's not got the shelf appeal you would want, maybe the brand name isn't as high stock as maybe a Callaway, Titleist, TaylorMade, Ping or Callaway, but it does a fantastic job when needed. And it's a really strange thing for me, this, because obviously I'm a PGA Pro, so I do like hitting a lot of drivers. I like testing different drivers. I've got a Callaway Paradigm Triple Diamond in the bag at the moment. These two are chalk and cheese. They are totally different drivers. But I've really enjoyed that this year when I've got it. But will this give me lower scores? Because lower scores are ultimately what you guys want. I know in the comment section below, I always talk about feel and sound and everything else. But you always say, but James, is it going to let me score better? Is it going to go further? Is it going to lower my handicap? And if that's what you're wanting, would a lot of golfers be better with that? And you see, I think that's a really, really interesting debate because yes, club fitting has come on leaps and bounds in the last 10 years, 5 years. I mean, massively in the last 15, 20 years since I've been golfing. I've been golfing 20 years. That's really, really upsetting. But has it helped people lower the scores? Because just because you can stand on a launch monitor, you can get it launching at 13.9, spinning at 2,200, a smash factor of 1.48, 1.49, it's going to carry 280 yards. That's brilliant, that's fine. Yes, that is going to sell a driver. People are going to buy more drivers because it outdoes your other one. But if you can't do this with it, what's the most important factor? I'm absolutely buzzing with that. That might well be a little bit further back than a Paradigm. In fact, I will hit a Paradigm later in this video. If I hit another one like that, I should probably do it on this hole, but if I hit another one like that, I will hit a Paradigm and see, first of all, if I can keep it in play, but also if it's as far or further, should I say. Look at that. We're aiming at the post, I said. We will have a bit of that. We've got 140, probably less, 135 yards into this flag. That's a chance, isn't it? Doesn't matter if I've got 130 in, how much closer am I going to hit it than if I've got 120 in? There's a question. Okay, 14th hole, par 5. Imagine this, you are a couple over par, you really want to battle back to get to level par or even get to your handicap, let's call it net a couple over par. Par 5 is your chance. It's just over 500 yards, but you really do need to kind of get a drive in the fairway. It's not penultimate that you do get on in 2, but it's really important that you don't mess this up because the last thing you want to do is go and make a bogey or a double bogey on the par 5. So the line is kind of close to these trees. You can probably go over them if you're really trying. I think I'm going to go just down the side of them. That leaves me a bit of room for error either side. Because strategy is as important as the driver. I'm all right here saying, guys, this is the most forgiving driver of 2023. You won't miss a fairway with it. But if you say, right, I'm going to go over this corner here with no room for error, I'm sorry, this can't help you and I can't help you. You have to know your own limitations and also know where you're going to go with this, know where you're potentially going to miss it. That might run out of fairway a little bit. This could, I'm not sure, you know, that might be really, really good. This could come back to catch me because I've gone a little bit on the safer line. Again, I've just thrown it down the fairway. I might as well have just gone down the fairway. But one thing I'm doing is I'm striking it out the centre of that diamond face absolutely wonderfully. Guys, there's so much adjustment on here as well. You'll see it's 10.5 degrees. I'm actually playing it at 10.5 as well because I feel like that might help me hit more fairways, especially for this test, but you can change the lie angle, you can change the loft, you can change loads of stuff on there. And obviously we spoke about the movable weighting earlier. Why don't more people have these drivers? Get in the comments below and let me know your opinion. So also guys, let me know what do you think to this kind of type of driver review. Rather than standing on a hole and hitting them and showing you the numbers, actually coming out and testing a back nine, a front nine, a series of holes where you need to hit fairways. That is another fairway hit as well. I don't think, I could have hit the paradigm again there. I don't think it's that far down there personally. From playing with players who take that corner on and from taking that corner on a couple of times myself, but it's a par 5. I've just said that I need to hit the fairway. I'm under a bit of pressure, and I mean we nearly took the post out on the last hole. We're literally almost on the centre cut line here with realistic. You know what? I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to hit a 6 iron in here or a 5 iron because we're kind of like 200 yards downhill. I don't feel like I have to really muscle this. I can just, if I put a good swing on it, it should be there. And then you're really kind of reaping the rewards, aren't you, of a forgiving driver. If that cuts, that's going to be really close to the flag. I think that's down there, you know, I didn't even catch that. So I've got a forgiving iron in here as well. I've actually done a video on the Callaway Apex Pros today, and I feel like it's making me swing easier. Comment below if you've watched my videos before. If you haven't, just get in the comments and let me know what do you think the swing's looking like. But if you have watched videos before, am I swinging freer? Am I swinging easier? Don't like I'm not trying to go at it. And to be honest, should James just put more forgiving clubs in his bag? Now, before we get down there, I want to show you where that's finished. That is the ball flag high, probably about 10 feet away on the par 5. Don't adjust your sets, I just don't know what to say. Right, low key, I am absolutely buzzing with that. I'm also really worried about the side. Look at that spider there. Oh my, get me off this buggy now. What is... I mean, if you can walk away from an eagle putt without having a go, you're not a golfer, are you? Birdie. Okay, so the next hole is one that shouldn't really cause problems, but often does for me. You'll see there's a big lake on the left-hand side, a bunker, which really shouldn't come into play unless you really don't catch it. But often here I go anti-lake and put it in the right-hand rough, which then, first of all, it kind of cancels out going for the flag if the flag's on the right-hand side of the green because of the other bunker, but you just don't get a very good lie up there. It's really, really lush and thick grass. Enter Tor Edge. This isn't a very long hole, it's like 389 yards, stroke 13. It shouldn't be a difficult hole, especially looking at that stroke index. Can we get this to work for us and go 4 out of 5 fairways so far, which is a pretty good return. I'm thinking 5 out of 8's good. I stand by that as well, because the 17th is an awful hole. Stay there. I might just catch it. Let's see where that is. Right, now I knew this one was going to pitch in the rough, which it has, and that's more luck than probably judgment. You can see that has released out into the fairway. That's another fairway hit with this driver, and again the 150 markers are way back there, so is it making a difference if we're here as opposed to there? Okay, 16th hole, stroke index 15, 423 yards. This is one of those holes where really you shouldn't hit driver because it does narrow up at driver distance and there's a bunker down the right hand side. But if you don't hit driver and you don't quite catch the club you are going to hit, you're in a world of pain. You've got 200 yards in, uphill. There's a huge bunker up there near the green that you just don't want to go anywhere near, especially if you have a card in your hand and you're battling for a score like we're doing. You then walk up with the most forgiving driver of 2023 and you think, you know what? Yeah, I'm just going to hit it. I'm not going to try and smash the dimples off the golf ball. I might even peg it just a little bit lower, just try and get one down that fairway. I've got more loft, so launching it's not going to be a problem. That is the perfect drive. Again, right, I'm going to hit the paradigm now because that's pretty much on the centre line. It was a nice high fade. It certainly isn't the longest drive I'm ever going to hit, you're ever going to hit, or most people are ever going to hit, but if we give this a rest and take out this bad boy, and I'm going to try here just to hit this like I would do normally, so I'm going to try and hit it on that same line and hope, to be honest, it just goes a little bit further. That's what should happen, hopefully. Oh, it is as well. It is a carbon copy. That has to be like 20 yards past. If it isn't, then I challenge everything I know about being a golf pro, about drivers, about golf clubs, and about life itself. I can't wait to show you where these, I can't wait to see where they are myself and show you. Where's that swing been all summer, by the way? Oh, yes. I feel like I've just discovered something there. I might do a video on that to help you hit longer, straighter drives, so stay tuned on that one. So I've really enjoyed this video, and we're not done yet. I've got probably the hardest tee shot in the world coming up. And the 18th isn't difficult, but sometimes you do go for it and then you end up having a bit of egg on your face and looking foolish. Do forgiving drivers make a difference? I definitely feel more comfortable with this Tour Edge. But then looking at these, honestly, both of them, in fact the Callaway's closer to the centre line, looking at these, this isn't really, I've been saying all along, so it's pitched here, you can see the Tour Edge and it's rolled up to there. That's a great drive, I'm really happy with it. The 150 marker's there, we've got around 135 yards. Then you look at the Callaway, which is pitched like there, and is all the way up there, and we've got about 100 yards. Now, strokes gained would dictate that you're probably going to hit it closer from there, wouldn't it? But you're bringing more danger into play off the tee. I know this is a tale as long as time, and it's an argument that we could have all day. I'm just really shocked that I've hit that drive with the Paradigm, because it's not been, it's not been. But would you take that 9 times out of 10 if you're only going to get that 3 times out of 10? I guess that is the common denominator, and that's why club fitting is often a little bit misguided just looking at numbers. Right, 2 holes left. If we hit both fairways, I've hit 7 out of 8 fairways on this back 9 with this driver, and I've had like 130, 140 yards into all of the holes pretty much. That's a very interesting fact. There's no wind today, by the way. It's probably as easy a day as you're going to get, and it's not very bouncy on the floor, so that's worth thinking about as well. Right, usually on this 17th hole, stroke index 5 par 4, 429 yards, I would be saying just go and pick up my Kirkland from in that lake over on the left, please. But not today. Just another good golf swing, James. That's all we need. The 18th you should be hitting. This is the one that's the problem. I kind of get in my own head with it a bit, but I don't want to. I want to just... The fade's been good for you, so let's go middle of the fairway with a touch of fade. Nowhere near the lake. It's another one. See, that kills so many demons in my head, because it's quite a long hole, and that again is pretty much on the centre line at around 150. I'm going to do the same test again, because you're all right saying, oh, I've hit a good Paradigm, so this test almost, well, you don't need a forgiving driver. But as soon as we get to the holes that matter, like I'm never going to hit a 3-wood here. It's not going to happen. 3-wood leaves you too far into this hole. And looking at, I mean, where this drive's finished, that is really as good as it gets. You can just see it just to the left of the centre line there. So let's see if we can do the same. The last one, I think we can all agree, was around 20 yards past, wasn't it? Same shot, nice fade, nowhere near the lake. More fade on it. I think that's going to be, that was really heely actually. And it's still past it. Like that's moved 30 yards more in the air. Certainly had my heart in my mouth a lot more with the Callaway drive than I did the Tour Edge driver. Does that really matter though? Like, end result is end result, and both those drives are in the fair. I'm a fairway machine today. Like, where's this been all season? I've just put my arm on the buggy with a light blue top on, and it's wet and mucky. What a day. As you can see there, I absolutely nailed the Tour Edge. There's probably about 10 yards difference here. We've got one just on the left side of the fairway, and the Callaway up there on the right. Both very good drives, both very happy with them. Am I going to hit it closer from there than I am from here? I probably would, I think. I don't know. Not a lot, but I think you're more likely to hit the green from 140 than you are 155. Last hole, can we hit the fairway? Can we hit 7 out of 8? I mean, realistically, I've hit more fairways today, I think, half all season. Is there something, right, in the, what's it called when you have like a sugar thing instead of a tablet? Is there something in, it took me a while, is there something in the placebo effect of a forgiving driver making you swing a bit easier, making you hit fairways, ultimately lowering your scores? There's a point I was after. And what amazes me is there will still be people out there who say, you know what, this driver isn't for me. I would definitely go with the lower spin, smaller headed C723 driver as opposed to the E723 driver. I'm aware I got that wrong in the introduction actually, but I'm going to leave it there because we all make mistakes. But this is potentially one of the biggest drives of my career. That is a very sad stat, I know, but it's probably true as well, because this is like 85% driver fairway ratio, and if you were to do that, you would be so high on the tour rankings for strokes gained. You'd have to hit it a long way, but if you hit fairways, you are much more likely to shoot lower scores. I don't mean that as in fairways, I mean keep it in play. I know basically if you speak to like Lou Stagnan, he's like, oh no, it doesn't matter if you're in the fairway as long as you're further up and you're in the rough, you're fine. Correct, because you're going to have less club in. But if you're out of bounds or in a water hazard, it ain't going to help you. This is where I've been recently. Right, this is the one, big turn round the corner. Why say that when you've been hitting a lovely fade all day? Straight down the middle, fairway hit, box ticked, the most forgiving driver of 2023. It's another perfect one. It's another perfect one. I don't feel like I broke a sweat with this driver trying to hit fairways, and that's literally bounding down the centre line again. Proximity to the centre of the fairway today has been ridiculous, and the technology in this head, that felt like it was really middled, and you do get some gorgeous feedback on that. Tiny bit low, you could say a fraction out the heel, but look at the ball flight that strike did give us. This thing is definitely worth trying in 2023 if you want more forgiving drives. I'm really happy with how today has gone as a whole. Like, I've hit loads of fairways. I think the drive has certainly helped. I think actually just going out and playing with this drive has helped my rhythm more than anything, and I'm hoping I can take that in. I've done a video this morning on a few things that I've tweaked in my game, and it's really helped as well. The spider's back. Go back in there, please. It's gone back. But again, we've got another fairway hit, and within 150 yards, look at the results that we've had using this Tour Edge Exotics driver. I mean, that's down there. You don't really want to be any further than that on this hole because you're going to be down the hill and you're going to have a downhill sloping lie. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you do smash that subscribe button if you enjoy these golf related videos. And apart from that, I'll see you all at exactly the same time tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.